woke up a little late. But I said I was gonna start doing things different. Try to get on here at least 2 or 3 times a week, and just give some motivation. I've been selling as a merchant mariner for going on 8 years. I'm getting ready to ship out of here at the end of the month, going with MSC. And it's a lot of things you have to go through as far as working with MSC. You have a lot of paperwork. You got a lot of drug screenings and physicals that you have to go through, but it's all worth it in the end. So I said I was gonna get on here and I was gonna start, just try to be, I guess, motivating you guys. Don't lose your faith, and just because one door closes, that doesn't mean another one will. What I'm saying, close as well. Sometimes you're gonna get 2 or 3 doors that close, but all it takes is one. What I'm saying, all it takes is faith the size of a mustard seed, and that's all you need. You never lose your faith in nothing. Like, just, what I'm saying, keep hope alive. What I'm saying, if you want to do this, you want to be a merchant mariner, it's nothing for you to, what I'm saying, stop. Keep going. This is something that you need if you want to do this. Like, you're gonna get things that are going to be challenging to you. Even with doing your paperwork, even with sending your documents over and paying on pay.gov. Like, you're gonna run into hiccups because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's to be expected. You know what I'm saying? So this is your first time doing all of this. Like, I try to, excuse me, I try to, what I'm saying, be there for, different people, helping them. I don't mind you guys calling, hit me up on social media. I respond back to your messages, anything that you have. I'm with it. I'm for that. You know what I'm saying? So I like to help people. So me motivating you guys to do this at sea, that helps me, because that's something that I need. Losing my grandmother and my grandfather this year, I know what type of people that raised me, how they helped me, how they kept me going. So if I can do the same for 2 or 3 people, and then, once people see that, this is working, what she's doing, she's helping us, then other people will join along. Just like me going live on YouTube. I never really go live on YouTube. I'm always going live on TikTok. But I said I have to give time for each platform. Um, but what I was saying in my live, I have a lot of people that I met along this journey as a merchant mariner. And a lot of people reach out to me because they know how close I was with my grandparents. So, of course, they want to check on me, want to make sure I'm good. Like, they check on me more than my family check on me. And you need that. You need your community. You have to build. So, when we were talking last night, she was putting a lot of things into perspective for me because I kind of like the world stopped when something happened to my grandparents, and when they got sick, and yes, I sacrificed my job. I left my job. I let them know, hey, I gotta go home. My grandparents not doing good. I gotta go see about my grandparents because they have, even though they're my grandparents, they are my parents. My mom and dad has always been in the picture. Well, my mama's been in the picture. My daddy was in and out of the picture, but my grandparents were there. They were my parents. So raising me and my 2 sisters, and as far as making sure we went to school, had school clothes, had your hair done, nails done, whatever it was, we did. Like, I drove my granddaddy car to prom. My granddad had I don't even remember what year it was, but it was a newer Lincoln Town car. I think it was a 2010. It had big old 22-inch rims on it, like the monster truck tires. Like, my granddad was into that. He liked the music, he liked the rim. So yeah, I drove his car to prom. So just them doing that kind of stuff for me and being there, make sure I had money. And he got up every morning, he took me to school, he picked me up. So just him doing that for me and being there for me, like, no matter what, even if he was home and tired, if I called Pop, I need you to come get me from school, it was nothing. He would come. You know what I'm saying? So I always had that. Then Granny, even when I was feeling a certain way, and I've always had her to lean on. She's always been there to lean on, to pray for, for me to hug. And Granny, I'm not having a good day, and baby, it's gonna be all right. She always had a scripture for me. Who was always going somewhere. And those old ladies, when they give you money, they give you money like this. They fold it up so your hand can meet theirs. That's what type of grandparents I had. Like, I never wanted for anything. So to be able to come here and motivate, to help other people, to push other people to do things, like, I do everything with a purpose. You have to have a purpose in life. So I knew when after I went through I was going through the different jobs, worked at the different hospitals, went to Baptist, worked in the MRI CAT scan department, worked there, then left there, went to Mayo Clinic, was a desk operations specialist. Then they put me into this text team. So, people would text, they would send different text messages, and I was the leader of the response team, so I had to do that. Then I went back to check-in and admissions, and then me and my manager didn't get along. I didn't She was one of them people, like, sometimes she was, now I understand that she was my supervisor, and some things I could have, no, I could have just swept under the rug and not, but she used to aggravate me so bad. Some days I would tell her what I want. I come to work and tell her what I ain't gonna do, and that's just what it was, because I was pissed off. Like, no, I'm not gonna get on my instant messaging. You're not gonna clock me every time I go to the bathroom. No, ma'am. I'll be back when I get back. Period. Like, it's like almost like it was micromanaging, and I just couldn't take it. So I got out of there. And I started researching. I wanted to go in the Air Force straight out of high school. My daddy talked me out of that because he was in the Army for 30 years. He was like, "No, D, that's not something you may not want to do or whatever." So I'm like, okay, whatever. So left that out, just left that, research a little bit more, and I looked into being a merchant mariner. And I've seen that I don't have to sign no contract while I'm gone. I ain't under oath. I don't have to do it. Well, we are under oath, but not like that. As far as, giving their lives away, pretty much. The government owns them. No, it's not like that here. Research. So 2019, while I was still working at Mayo Clinic, I went through the night program they had. So I had to be there from 6 to 10, but of course, I would always get there at 5 o'clock. This early, talking to Mr. James. Mr. James gave a lot of real insight, let you know what was what. So I like that. Mr. James understood how, someone can come from a paycheck to paycheck job to being a merchant mariner. And he gave a lot of guidance, and just pretty much, hey, D, when you get here, save your money. Don't spend all your money on this and that. So, I listened to a lot of things that he instilled. And Mr. James, God rest his soul, he passed away maybe about a week ago. So, he taught a lot. He put a lot out there. He put Blue Water Maritime School on the map, and I just picked up the pieces after he left the school. So I do a lot for Blue Water Maritime too, but just going through that, graduating, it was a guy named Gary Lloyd from MSC. He came to Blue Water Maritime School. He was giving the insight, basically telling us, hey, this is what you guys need to apply for this. We have job fairs coming up. So the first job fair they had at Workforce off Beach Boulevard in Jacksonville, I went. I was business casual. I had my resume because I didn't know what to expect. So I wanted to make sure that I was professional in it all. Went, talked to him. He just kept me along in the process. Like, any questions I had, he responded via email. So, he was giving that to me, and I appreciated it. And I finally got in. I was wanted to do give a 2-week notice to my job, in the event that I had to come back. But in my mind, I knew I wasn't coming back. So I wasn't giving y'all 2 weeks. Because when I'm done with you, I'm done with you. So I remember this was like in the end of October. I put in a 2-week notice, but I only stayed for a week. I just couldn't take it. The micromanaging was just too much for me. So I remember not even getting a call back from MSC, or not an email saying that I had a job, saying they gave me an offer letter. I didn't remember any of that, but I knew that the end was near for me with the Mayo Clinic, because a lot of people don't talk about it. It's a lot of racism go on, and it's in any industry, but it was a lot of that. Like, they looked down on us, it was just certain things that they put pressure on our colors, the colored folk. And they didn't put that pressure, everybody, they had white privilege. So it was a lot of stuff that was going on that they could get away with that we couldn't. So I always made sure I was already, like, in the vicinity when it's time to, clock in and all that stuff. So I was never late. I was always on time. Like, I used to leave my house at 4 o'clock in the morning, sit in my car and take a nap in my car till I had to get out the car to go to work. I had to be to work at 6, or 6:30, I'm sorry. And then I would get out the car, walk, because it was a far walk. You had to walk to the building. So that was a sacrifice that I made. But anyway, after I went through all that, I gave them my 2-week notice. I only stayed a week. They had like my friends, they were sad. They had a potluck for me, but they knew the end was near. I had to leave. So my last day of Mayo Clinic was November the 1st, 2019. Didn't hear anything back from, I didn't hear anything back from nobody. Like, I didn't hear no emails, no none of that. So with the emails and all the stuff, so I didn't look. I prayed about it. I had faith. I want to say the end of November they called me and told me that they would put me on a fast track, and I needed to, they sent me my flight out for December the 1st, and I had to be at Neo December the 2nd. So that wasn't nothing but God. So just going through that, being a part of that, like it was good. Like, everybody, the first day they took all of us on a bus from the contract hotel to medical, sitting in medical with it had to be about 50 of us. So everybody got to go through it. Now I'm thinking, they're gonna hear up and call me because my last name forehand. So I'm right there right with the top of the alphabet. Please. Took all day long. Then the MR, not the MRI machine, what that was. The EKG machine was tripping. But it didn't matter. I still had to sit through. I think I was one of the last ones to get back on that bus. After so many people was finishing, they was getting on the bus. Everything was good. But I'm gonna tell y'all this. When y'all go through that physical part and they doing EKGs and they doing your blood pressure, calm down. It ain't like they finna put you in jail because your pressure high. Like, y'all gotta calm down because you gotta make sure all your vitals is good, because if not, they're gonna send you home. So a few people had to go back to go see a cardiologist because of their what he said, they had heart murmurs, or that it was reading something weird and they had to go back and check. So they did a lot of that. But all in all, it was worth it. I stayed with MSC through the pandemic, so it was no reason for me to come back to Jacksonville when the city was shut down. So I stayed out there for 8 months. When I came home, I had so much cash on me, like cash money. Like, I've never seen that kind of cash. Not saying that I didn't make money, but you don't make that kind of money when you working paycheck to paycheck. So, man, I had so much cash money on me. And then as far as the savings account, man, when I came home, my sister was pregnant. I remember with my nephew. He just turned 6 on the 11th, and me and her was like super close. So every time I would talk to her, like, he would kick, he would do all kind of stuff, and I used to tell her, "That baby, you ain't gonna have that baby till I come home." The very next day after I came home, she had him. And I remember when I came home, but she didn't have him early, because that's the day I came home. She went with me. I paid off my truck. Like, I gave grandma and pop some money, my mama, my niece and nephews. Like, I gave everybody some money. I remember taking them out to eat and being able to have money. It didn't matter what they ate, what they wanted to eat. It didn't matter what they ate, or what they got to drink, or what they added. I paid for everybody. Like, that was something that I wanted to do. That was something that I wanted to give to them. Being able to pay for the hotel for everybody. That's something that I'd always wanted to do, and being able to handle that with them after having my, getting all that money from MSC. It was worth it. The overtime, the hazardous pay, the missed meals, like the money that you get for these jobs is worth it. Like, the hazardous pay, which is if you have ammo on your ship, you get money. And then you have like your missed meals, like, say for instance, you have to work through lunch or you have to work through breakfast. They pay you for that. That's, what I'm saying, it's, so you get that penalty pay. It's worth it. So you get all kind of penalty pay, all types of money, overtime pay. Like, on the weekends, every Saturday and Sunday with MSC is overtime. So if you're doing 12 hours, there's 12-hour overtime on Saturday, 12-hour overtime on Sunday. So you get the money. It's there. Just with these jobs, you just have to know how to talk, stay calm. Like with me when I was at Mayo Clinic, I could have handled things different there. Like, I have a little bit of regret, but not too much. But because what I said, I meant. So it was done. But you have to ask for forgiveness. Don't want to rub nobody the wrong way, and a lot of things go on at sea. Like I said, you're gonna see some things at sea that you don't normally see. Some things you can't even talk about. Some things that you may be scared to talk about. So in due time, you'll be able to share your experience as well. But I just want to encourage you guys to just continue to be patient in filling out applications, because you may not get a response right away. You may not get the answer that you want. Sometimes you may have to leave certain jobs because they may feel like you wasn't the perfect fit. So don't get discouraged and not still apply for other jobs. I mean, it's other jobs out here. Like, trust me, it's a lot of work out here. And I didn't know this when I first started. I didn't know that you can use your TWIC card and you can work in inland positions. Like, I didn't know that. If I known that, I would have been left Mayo Clinic until MSC called. But I didn't know that. Like, you can use your TWIC card to your advantage. It's inland jobs that all they require is a TWIC card and a valid driver's license. And some of them don't even ask for that. They just want you to have a TWIC card. And you have transportation to get to wherever the company is to start training. So keep all that in mind. It's stuff out here that we don't know. We don't know everything. So I try to research stuff for you guys. Any questions you have, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform I'm on, whatever questions that you have, I'm always here to answer. But I just wanted to give you guys that little encouragement this morning. And I'm gonna probably get on here, probably start doing this every morning and then going live on TikTok and maybe doing some live streaming for both. So now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think, according to the power that worketh within us. Y'all have a blessed day.